Hey everybody, welcome to today's lunch lesson live. We are talking about Facebook groups. So I know Facebook groups are hot right now. It's a big, hopefully you can hear me okay. Let me know if you can hear me. Thanks so much for being here. Give me a little wave or a thumbs up if you're here. Let me know if you are watching on today's live at Wednesday at 12, just say live below. Or if you're watching on the replay, just write replay below. So that way I know who's here Wednesdays at 12 and who is coming in afterwards watching later. So I'm excited about today's lesson. Today we're going to be talking about Facebook groups, how to grow your group and how to engage. So those are right. Facebook groups are really hot right now. Really, they've been hot for a while. But if that's something that is helpful to your business, then stick around. You don't want to miss it for today. So thank you to everyone who voted on today's topic. Every Tuesday, I post a little poll that you can vote on the topic for the week. So if you're wanting to get help with your business and learn some new marketing strategies, definitely feel free to vote on your choice of the topic every Tuesday. And if you have other ideas, you can always send them to me, or you can add it in the poll too as a suggestion. Just let me know something that you want to learn about. I would love to talk about it. So today, this is for all business owners. Obviously, I gear everything towards women and mompreneurs. If you are a mompreneur, if you are a coach, this is for you. So Facebook groups are such a great way to connect to your audience in a way that I think is much more authentic and genuine, as opposed to scrolling on your Instagram profile or Facebook profile or any of the other social media platforms. It's just a little bit more one-on-one, a little bit more genuine and authentic, a little tighter knit community, I think, in the Facebook group. That's what I love. So so stick around. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to share all my tips to you there. I'm also thinking about doing a challenge. So I'm thinking about doing a 5-day challenge, if that's something that interests you, where we really deep dive into some of these topics that we're just going to brush on today. But if you're really wanting to grow your Facebook group exponentially, we are going to do a 50 members in 5 days challenge. So I'm thinking about doing it next week, starting on Monday. It'll be 5 days, Monday through Friday, and it'll just be one live similar to this every day. So if that's something that interests you, definitely say challenge below, and I'll keep you posted on the details for that. But that will be really a deep dive and a little bit of a workshop every day, and with some homework. So there'll be action items and homework that you can work on each day to really grow your group. So the goal will be to get 50 members into your group in 5 days. So totally doable with this strategy. So stick around. We'll talk more about that. But today I'll just share some quick tips that you can get started on today. So you don't want to miss it. Hang around for that. So again, I love working with mompreneurs and business owners and coaches. I also think Facebook groups could work for products, right? It might be a little bit more of a challenge, but it's really a way to connect with your audience. So it's definitely something to think about and kind of push your creative edge, right? And expand your way of thinking about your customer. That's really what the Facebook group does. I really think it kind of pushes your normal way of doing things, right? The definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing and expecting different results. If you're just posting and hoping, if you build it, they will come, and you're not getting the results that you want, then I really think this is for you. This is definitely something to try, right? A new method to try to connect to your audience in a new way. And that's really with the Facebook group. So we really talk a lot about abundant mindset. If this is something that you've kind of touched on but are not quite sure, I feel like in a lot of years in past, I've been like, oh, I'm totally abundant. Yeah, abundant mindset, sure. But once I really dove deep into what that really means, I really had to do some work. So if you're finding that you're in that same kind of spot in your career or in your business where you're like, I know that there's more, right? There's more that I'm capable of, and there's more abundance in the universe, right? There's more money to be made. I know I'm not at my cap. you know that you're capable of more. I know that you are capable of more. So if you feel like you are able to get into your abundant mindset, definitely put that hat on for today. That way you can really be thinking about how to grow your business, and in different ways how it could apply to whatever it is that you're doing in your strategies. So definitely try to keep that abundant mindset hat on. And if you're in our book club, right, this January, all month long, we're reading Mindset by Carol Dweck. It's a few years old, but it definitely talks about that fixed mindset and growth mindset. Certainly abundant mindset is kind of in that growth mindset category, excuse me, but it's all about, right, like not being stuck in your same way of thinking and thinking that you're able to improve, right? You're able to grow. We're all able to learn. It's not that we're born with these skills, right? We learn our skills as we go, obviously. So anyway, so keep that hat on while we're talking today. If you're new here, my name's Kristina. Quick background about me. My husband and I opened a bike shop coffee shop a few years back, and it was really fun, right? We loved being in our community. We loved getting to know our customers in a brick and mortar setting, right? I loved making coffee. I always say being a coffee barista is much like a bartender, right? People come in and they talk to you and they tell you their life story, and it's just really fun, right? I loved connecting to our audience, and I loved having our local people come in and chat. So that was a really fun part of time of life, right? It was also the hardest. It was the hardest time in our marriage, hardest time financially. It was a really big challenge, right? If anyone has had a brick and mortar store, say brick and mortar, I would love to talk to you. But it was really a challenge, right? We really had to figure out, number one, how to get people in the door. That is really the root of all business, right? You need, whether you have a brick and mortar store or you're having online services, you really need people, you need traffic. So it's just more apparent in a brick and mortar store, right? You open the doors and you're not going to make money if people aren't actually physically coming inside. So that is really the challenge, right, that we were up against. And we really met it with a lot of, I think, creative ways, and we really did get a lot of our local people into our doors, and it was great for a while. It was really awesome. So we loved growing and building in our community, but man, did we learn a lot, right? And so I really turned it into my mission. When we had to close our doors, unfortunately, I really made it my mission to help other small businesses, because I learned so much of what not to do, right? And I want to share that with you. I have turned it into my mission to never let another small business have to close their doors, right? Because they didn't have access to knowledge or strategy or money, right? I feel like that is the hardest thing about owning a business, is not having the same knowledge that people who have gone before you have found, right? And that's really the goal here, is I want to share with you what I have learned so that you don't have to go through all those same trials and tribulations, right? So the bike shop was really a challenge, and I felt like we learned a lot, and learned by fire, right? How to get people into the door. And one thing that we really, I think, honed in on really well at the bike shop is groups, right? We learned early on that, and maybe for one, this was a really good transition. Here locally, we have a lot of bike groups, right? So a lot of people that hang out and chat in bike groups, that they go, bicycling every Saturday, that kind of thing. So it really got us in the mind of creating a Facebook group. So I really think that was much to our success for the local bike shop. We created a Facebook group. We got people to schedule events. We would schedule events. We would show, we would have all of these things going on in the Facebook group, where we were meeting for different days, for different levels of cyclists, right? So that was really us building that community. And that is really what I think is valuable, and what we did really well at the bike shop, and what I have tried to continue to do for all of my clients over the last decade. So I've been helping businesses online for over 10 years, trying to be seen more and more online. And I always say Facebook groups is one of the hottest ways to be seen, right? It's just a way to connect with people in a different way. So if you're at all thinking about a Facebook group, definitely stick around. We're going to talk about some easy ways to help grow your group. And then I'll talk a little bit more about this challenge coming up. So next week we're going to do that 5-day challenge. So if that's something that interests you, definitely say challenge below, and I'll be sure to send you the details for that. Okay, so Facebook group. Again, I think the important part of Facebook groups is you get to interact with your customers in a way that is much more genuine and one-on-one, as opposed to on your Facebook profile, right? I feel like on Instagram or your Facebook profile, yes, people can comment, and that's a little bit of one-on-one, and you can message people, and that's obviously more one-on-one. But for some reason in the group, and maybe not for some reason, right? But it is that people are a bit more interactive. They feel more, they just feel closer to you, right? They feel like they are a part of your community. And that's where you can really grow, love, and trust, and get people to grow, love, and trust you, so that you are the authority on whatever your services are that you're selling, right? So I really think the Facebook groups is a great place to do that. And again, it pushes your creative edge. It gets you in the mind of your customer to really be thinking about, okay, what can I share interactively and genuinely with my customers to really get them in the mindset for them to be open to my services, right? That's really the goal of the Facebook group. So again, if you have not created a Facebook group and you're thinking about it, definitely something to think about. And if you need some ideas, right, for your Facebook group, you can always send me a message and be like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this or whatever. Again, I always offer a free social media audit. So if that's something that any of you are interested in, you could just say audit below. Or if you need some ideas for a Facebook group, you could just say new Facebook group below, and I'll definitely reach out to you and we can chat about how that would look, right? Sometimes it gets a little bit, you have to get a little creative about your services and who you want in that group and how you would interact with them. So those are some ideas that we can certainly talk about one-on-one, because I feel like every business is so different, right? So unique. To really create that group together takes a little bit of finesse and creativity. So that's really where I can help come in. Okay, so my 3 tips for Facebook groups. This is what we're going to talk about today. The first tip to grow your Facebook group. So this would be after you've come up with a really amazing name and you've already got this idea of what the group will be in your head, right? So all of that has already been done. Now we're just going to talk about growing the Facebook group. So the first step, really, I think, is to invite your friends, right? And I know that sounds a little crazy, and if you're not really wanting to invite your friends, that's totally okay too. You don't have to do this step. But inviting your friends to your Facebook group is the quickest way to grow your group. For sure, a lot of us have, many friends on Facebook. People we might know really well, people we might not know very well, right? They might be acquaintances, they might be, but for sure there's somebody in your friends list that is in your target audience, for sure, right? And so it's totally up to you how you feel comfortable inviting them, right? If you feel like you need to send them a quick message, and even if you wanted to, in the background be like, hey, so-and-so, I'm starting this group and I really need some numbers. I would really love for you to be a part of the group, right? I think that's totally fine. Right? You need people in your group. Hey, would you mind just joining my group? And then you could let them know if you feel comfortable, like, hey, I would love for you to be in this group. Don't feel like I'm selling to you, if that's something, right, that you feel like is the thing. But if it's something you feel like some of your friends might benefit from your products or services, by all means, right, invite them. And you could send them a message and say, hey, I'm starting this group. I thought you would really appreciate, we're gonna be talking about tips on, wellness, or, how to grow your business, or, we're gonna be doing how to be, a happier mom, or all those things, right? Whatever is the result of your group, or whatever you're gonna talk about in your group, that's really what you wanna invite people for. So definitely invite friends, right? Most of us have at least 50 friends we could probably invite to our group today, right? So definitely think about your friends list on Facebook. That is the quickest way to grow your list. Now, keep in mind, right, if you invite friends to your Facebook group, they may not, if you have questions set up, and we'll talk more about that in the challenge, but if you have questions set up, they might not get your questions. So just keep that in mind. If you're wanting a little bit more information from your friends, you can always message them on the side and be like, hey, thanks for joining, blah, 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 blah. So something to keep in mind, right? But that is the quickest way to grow your group, is invite your friends. They might not join all the way or right away, or they might not join at all, right? And that's okay. So just go in with the expectation that, hey, some of my friends may be interested. Some friends really don't want, to be a part of the groups, or they've been in some groups and it hasn't worked out. So just keep that in mind, right? We're all open and, everything is fine. So it's okay if some friends don't join. Obviously, don't take it personally. They might not join any groups. So that's just something to keep in mind, right? So definitely invite your friends. That is the number 1 tip. Number 2 tip is to join other groups, right? So many of us in here are in several groups. So if you're already in several groups, you already know all about this. But the point of joining other groups would be to look for other groups where your target audience is. So if you are, selling to moms, you definitely want to try to be in some moms groups, right? And find stuff that's personal to you, right? Like my kids are a little bit older, so I might be in like the teen mom groups, that kind of thing. But I love, of course, talking about all things babies, right? All of us do, I feel like, as moms. So, if you're allowed to be in, other moms groups that for little kids and stuff like that, certainly join those groups, whatever is appropriate for you. And then just be careful, right? So every group has rules, right? And if one group gets too dramatic or is not your style, don't, you can leave the group, like it's no big deal, or, just scroll past those messages, or don't engage, right? Those are all things. So, but definitely check the rules of every group, and you're looking for groups that allow promotion, right? That would be the goal. If they don't allow promotion, most of them either have one day that is promotion, or they have a paid membership where you can promote. But the idea would be, and even if they don't, that's okay, but the idea would be to interact with those people. If that's your target audience, if that's who you think could really benefit from your services, you want to be in that group and just start interacting with people, right? It doesn't have to be salesy. They don't even have to know you have a business. It can just be like, hey, if one mom's talking about, oh my God, my kids are doing this, or, oh, I need help with homework, or whatever, there are things that we can just start talking with each other and just build relationships. That's really what it's about, right? That's really what business, I think, is about. So whoever your target audience is, definitely find other groups that you can interact in, and it'd be a plus or icing on the cake if you can promote your group in that other group, right? So that feels a little bit crazy, but yeah, definitely invite your friends and then join other groups with the hope of advertising your group in that other group to get people to come over. Hey, I saw that you like this, come on over. I'd love to have you in this group. So there's definitely some new rules with groups. So I think Facebook is cracking down on, a lot of links. They don't want you to go off of Facebook very much. And they don't want you to be kind of like, if it's not a promotional type of post, they don't want you obviously stealing someone. So don't be weird about, if someone's like, hey moms, tell me your favorite thing from today. And then you're like, hey, come join my group about wellness. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't fit. So just be courteous, obviously, of other people in the group, but genuinely connect with people in other groups. If they are in your target audience, just start connecting, right? And I always I've told, all of my clients this over the last decade, that if you are a local business and you need local traffic, so if you are like a local therapist, or you have a, if you're selling products locally, I would definitely get on some local Facebook groups, right? And that therein can be a little bit of drama, right? There's drama probably in every city, neighborhood, every Facebook group, everywhere. So just, again, set your expectations of what you want to engage with, right? I think, and I hear this all the time, that Facebook is so toxic and, all of these things. And yes, it's true, but if you're in it for your business, you want to protect yourself, right? So if you don't want to see politics, X out all of the politics, right? If you don't want to see certain people in your local, certain businesses that you have a real problem with, just X out of those businesses. You can really curtail your feed to exactly what you want, right? My feed is mostly business. It's really all business. and dogs, right? So I get stuck down dog videos all the time. So Facebook loves to show me that, and I like it, so I see more of it, right? So like the things that you really want to like and see more of, and Facebook will show you more of that. So it's really okay to curtail your feed and choose groups that you want to that you genuinely want to interact with. And you can avoid, even within groups when there's drama, right? You can avoid those posts, or just say, I want to see less of this person, or I don't want to see this post again, or whatever. So anyway, that's kind of a side note, right, with groups, because I hear that a lot, that I don't want to engage in groups. It's too much drama, right? And it's true, right? Anywhere there's people, anywhere there's a lot of people, there's going to be drama, for sure. Everyone has opinions, right? Everyone loves to share them online, and social media has become this really weird place where people feel like their opinions are really important, and they would say things that they would never say to your face, right? People feel anonymous and bold and and not afraid to share their opinions online. So it's great, but also we just have to take it with, a grain of salt and protect ourselves with what we really want. Okay, so no more about group drama, but groups is a great place. Other groups is a great place to advertise your group. So that is, again, the second quickest way of growing your group. Go to these other groups and find your target audience and interact with them. Number 3, I think this is, if you're not doing this, you are missing out on so many people. So if you're on Instagram and you are DMing people, start inviting them to your group. So this is, I think, one of the most neutral sales tactics, because if someone is interacting with you on Instagram, they are interested in your stuff, whether they like your pretty pictures, whether they like your inspirational quotes, or whether they really are interested in your services. If they have liked a post, I think that opens the door for you to send them a direct message. Hey, thanks so much for liking my post. What do you think about XYZ, right? Or I saw that you loved this inspirational quote. Man, can I relate, right? Even if it's just something totally genuine, whatever feels organic to you, right? Like, and then you could even, stalk them a little bit on their profile, and you could say that, just be genuine. Hey, I stalked you on Instagram. I loved that you posted about this. And I saw that you commented on my this. Like, we talk about that in my Facebook group. I would love to have you. And so Instagram, right, is a little bit weird. I don't know why they do not let you put links to Facebook groups in messages. To me, that's really counterintuitive, right? Meta owns both. Why are they not encouraging groups? But I think it can get a little spammy, right? If you're sending group links everywhere. So just be careful of that. But you can put your group link in your profile on Instagram. So then in your, messaging, you can say, hey, we talk about this very thing in my group, where we share tips, free tips on, wellness, or, accounting, or, business. I would love to have you over in the group where we talk about all of these things. It's a very neutral invite, and it gets them into your system, your realm, your, orbit. You want to gather your leads and get them close to you, obviously. And then once they're in this kind of tight-knit community, you've already got them. That is where you have got a captured audience, right? Where you can really then start to think about how to warm them up and build the relationships. That's really what it's about, right? And then that can be the start of your soft selling, if that is appropriate, or really just building the relationships. So those are all the ways to kind of grow your group. So really those are, I think, the 3 best ways and quickest ways to grow your group. So again, number 1, invite your friends, right? It's okay if they don't join your group. It's completely okay. For sure, you have at least 50 friends who are in your target audience who want to support you. You might be surprised, right? So invite your friends. Number 2, join other groups that are in your target audience. So moms groups, mompreneurs, business owners, wellness coaches, all of those things. Join those other groups and see who's in there. What are people talking about? It'll either give you ideas for your group or allow you to promote your group in that group and invite people to get them over there. Then number 3 is DM people in Instagram. Instagram is a great place, I always say, to sift through and find your target audience. It's so easy to look for users and hashtags and to find your people, right? It's really a great place to, and you can interact with their profile, and then they most likely will interact with yours. So you can comment on their posts, you can like their posts, and you can send them a direct message and then invite them to your group. So those are all, I think, the 3 best ways to grow your group. And then you could always, Messenger, I think, works too. If that works in other people's Facebook groups, you could send them a personal message, right, through Messenger on Facebook. I don't feel like that is as effective because you really have to be people's friends, and often people don't want to be your friend, right? But you can. It's completely open to you how many friends you want to kind of really try to get into the Messenger, and then you can try to message them there. I just don't think the Facebook interface does not work. It's a little bit clunky, right? People either have to see it right away to accept your friend request, or it gets lost in their notifications. Or if you've sent them a message and you don't request their friendship, then it can also get lost in the notifications. So up to you how you want to try Messenger, but I think the Instagram DMs are much more effective. So give that a try if you haven't already. So let's talk then the next step. Once you have people in your group, the next step is really how to keep people there and get people engaging, right? I've heard this so many times. Oh, I've had this group for years, but either nobody's in there or nobody's interacting. It's not really active. So those are some things that we can talk about, how to engage the people that are already in there. Once you get people in there, then you want to use your group to really get people talking. And I've heard this, many times, that you really want to be the host of a party. Excuse me, like we've done, right? Everyone's done probably right? There's pampered chef parties, there's book parties, lots of parties. And I think people are still doing those in groups or in events. But you want to treat your Facebook group like a party. You are the host, and you want other people to interact with each other. So it's not all about, hey, this is me, and this is me, and this is what I offer, and hey, this is me, right? It's a little bit of that, of course, but your main goal is to get people interacting, because if they're interacting, hopefully you want to get them talking about your topic and what you offer. So that way that they are interacting, they feel a part of the community, and then you can jump in, when it's appropriate and be like, hey, by the way, here I am, here's what I offer. But for the most part, you want people to be interacting with each other in your group. So we can talk a lot more about that. If you need help with your Facebook group, I would love to talk with you one-on-one. That's something that I offer. You can just say strategy below if you really need an overall umbrella strategy of how to get people to your Facebook group, and then what are you even going to say, right? What are you going to post in your Facebook group? What does that look like? So those are all things that we can talk about one-on-one. So if you want to do a one-on-one strategy, just say strategy below. And that always starts with a free social media audit. So that would be our first chat together. Then I'm doing this 5-day challenge. So if you're interested in growing your group, 50 members in 5 days, that's our goal. We are going to start that next week. So I'm going to do a 5-day challenge. It'll be Monday through Friday next week. Grow your group by 50 members. That's the goal of the challenge. So every day we'll talk about a new topic, and we'll have action items and homework for each day next week. So if that's something you're interested, just say challenge below, and I'll be sure you get the information on that. So really quick before I end, I just wanted to talk a little bit about our fear, right? I feel like as business owners, we can often be on an island by ourselves, and we see other people doing stuff and we're like, oh gosh, I'm not there yet. Maybe I shouldn't do this, right? And that is really just our fear creeping in and stopping your ego from growing, right? It wants to keep us safe into what we've always done. And the only way to grow, right, is to do what you have not done before, right? To get out of your normal way of doing things. So don't let the fear stop you from building your dreams, right? That's what we're all doing. We're all trying to build our dreams. So don't let fear creep in when you're comparing. Don't compare yourself to others, or if you do, just don't let it stop you from doing what you want to do. That's really where that is coming from, right? The universe is not saying, hey, there's too many people out here, the market's saturated. No, the universe is telling you there's all this out here, but your fear and your ego is telling you don't do it. You know, just be safe and do what we've always done. Change is scary, right? Let's just be safe and keep doing what we're doing. So don't let your fear creep in for your business. And the other thing is money, right? I think so many of us have so many money wounds that we're still healing, right? And so it is scary to invest in your business. And I always say this, that what is more important? The time that it will take to learn things that other people learn, coaches, people who have made all the mistakes before, do you want their time, or do you want to waste that time and spend it trying to learn all the things? What I think is so crazy, right, about mompreneurs and business owners, we feel like we have to do it ourselves. We know you can do it, and we know we can, right? So we're like, I know I can learn all the hats and wear everything and, you know, do all the tasks. But the point is, you don't have time, right? If you are working in your business, you're not working on your business, right? And you want to grow. So the whole point is to, number one, delegate, right? But number two, learn from the people who have gone before you and made all the mistakes so that you don't have to. That's really the value of investing in yourself and investing in your business. So if that's something that is scary to you, or you want to talk a little bit more about that, of course, I would love to talk about that. But definitely, again, try not to let that fear keep you from growing your business, right? Investing in your business is really the best way to grow, because you learn from the people who have done what you're trying to do, right? And why waste years trying to do it on your own, right? Those are always challenges of a small business, but the best thing you can do is learn from people who have already done it, right? So invest in yourself and invest in your business. All right, so that is it for today. If you have any questions, feel free to send them to me anytime, or you can comment below. Also, all of my tips, I always say, are in my new workbook planner. I have a marketing workbook that has all of my tips with some checklists. And you can get the download printable version on my website, or there's a hard copy on Amazon. So I'll post the hard copy below, just because I think it's nice to have as a hard copy book, so it's all in one place. Sometimes when I print things, right, it tends to get kind of messy, but if that's your style and you're able to keep it all together, you can certainly try that as well. So I'll post the workbook below. And yeah, let me know if you have any other questions. And if you're interested in that Grow Your Group challenge, that'll be next week. You can just say challenge below. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next